types of jobs are easier to land and full of opportunity. All right, before we get started, just a little bit about myself. So, I did go to a community college. I was there for 3 years. Then I transferred to a 4 year university here in California. Was there for 2 years and graduated in the year of 2020 with my mechanical engineering degree. And I got my first engineering related role in the year of 2017. So I was doing that part time, about 12 hours a week while I was attending school. All right, so let's get started. Common focus, or introduction, common focus. Engineering students often focus solely on internships and traditional engineering roles. What's missing? There's a hidden job opportunity that many overlook, but it's valuable for gaining hands-on experience. Why it matters. This job can provide you with practical skills that employers crave, especially for recent grads. And I'll be talking about this in the upcoming slides, what exactly alternative route you could take in opposed to internships that would actually help out. So just kind of talking about just a little more on this. So internships, a lot of schools, that's kind of the number one thing schools point you in the direction of, right? Trying to apply to internships. So just thinking about all these schools, telling you to apply to internships and there's being just a handful of internships out there. I did find myself, kind of getting overwhelmed. I was applying to internships, kind of how schools were recommending, right? And it was a little difficult to get, especially when everybody in your school was applying for internships. So at some point, I just started applying to just any other job that was related to engineering, right? Which I kind of had an idea. So for me, I would just apply to anything in that field, I guess. And here in these upcoming slides, I'm gonna be talking more specific on what I'm talking about. So let's see, next slide. What job are we talking about? Manufacturing jobs. So this alternative route to internships will you could have an internship in a manufacturing environment, but what I'm talking about is if you can't find an internship, I do recommend, and even like I said before, some employers might even prefer you have experience in this area. So I'm talking about jobs in production, assembly, operation, and testing, which are all essential for gaining insight on how things are made. Now, working in this environment setting gives you a real-world experience with the processes that empower engineering industries. These jobs are a lot more easier to land, and just like your internship, you could easily get these during the summer, and you could actually even get these part-time. That's what I did. So jobs you could search up, like as far as production assembler, production technician, operations testing technician, mechanic engineering technician, testing technician, anything in that realm. So these jobs are a lot. There's a lot more of these jobs out there, and these jobs would give you just probably even better experience as if you were to have done an internship, right? All right, next slide. The value of manufacturing jobs for engineers. So to me, there was a lot of value, going this route. So I did get a lot of hands-on experience, being now in my engineering role. I do see that internship, it's a lot more documentation, which is really good. You're definitely going to be doing a lot of documentation, technical writing, but there is some hands-on you probably don't get if you were to do your internship, right? But if you were to go this alternative route and getting that assembler or production technician job, you'd get this hands-on experience, and you'd also actually get exposed to this cross-disciplinary knowledge. So when I was doing my role, I did actually work with quality control, supply chain to some extent. Manufacturing engineers, your process engineers, your design engineers. So that's all was really neat. You could ask them questions. Everybody's really open, especially you being the newcomer going to school. So they do value that, and they do appreciate you asking questions and learning about the product. And lastly, that expands your knowledge and helps you build an interdisciplinary skill set. Next slide. Why employers love manufacturing experience. 1, practical problem solving. Manufacturing environments test your ability to solve issues quickly and effectively. Employers highly value employees who can adapt and innovate in a hands-on setting. So many of you probably think, I'm going to go to this, well-put company, quote unquote, and it's going to be kind of day in and day out doing the same thing over and over, kind of boring, mechanical, assembler or technician job. The truth is, most jobs they do have their little chaos, and it's good chaos. And during that chaos, that's where you get a lot of this experience. So I guess what I'm saying is, there's a lot of experience you could get. Don't think that if I apply to these jobs, I'm gonna be learning the same thing over and over. Because no, there's a lot of issues that pop up, and for sure there's a lot of experience there to learn. Next one here, I have efficiency and productivity. So working in a manufacturing teaches you the importance of efficiency, optimizing processes, and improving workflows. So whether you want to go into the manufacturing route, as far as manufacturing engineering, process engineering, down that route, whether you do it or not, you're still gonna. This is still really valuable experience. You'll be in the line, actually learning the process on how things are made, get an idea on how the design engineer was thinking, what they were thinking, why they designed it a certain way, which is all really good experience. These are all traits that employers seek, even for more technical engineering roles. Sorry, I just jumped onto that next point, but kind of just going more on that last one. So when I was in my role, I was able to build, and most times they have they do things a certain way just because doing it another way might not give you the best results, or you might yield a bad product, which is good to learn. And it's really valuable to kind of be in that setting and actually understand why things are done a certain way, rather than observing from a distance. If you were an intern or maybe an engineer, when you're observing from a distance and you really get that understanding, that deep level understanding, that in my opinion is really valuable. Next slide, how to find manufacturing jobs. So I kind of touched this already in the previous slide, but where to look. So look for your local manufacturers, small companies. I recommend a small company, or even startups, or factories that often look for engineering students or recent grads for part-time or full-time work. Job boards, LinkedIn, and company websites are good places to find these opportunities. My experience, company websites, applying on their website is probably the best, and to me, I've seen better results coming out of there. What to search for? Search for roles like production assistant, manufacturing technician, kind of like the ones I mentioned before, test technician, assembler, anything in that realm, even quality control associate. Engineering intern is in there, but yeah. All right, next slide. How to leverage your manufacturing experience for future roles in your resume. Highlight hands-on projects, process improvements, or troubleshooting experience. Emphasize the practical knowledge you'll gain and how it contributes to your engineering expertise. During interviews, share specific examples of how your time in manufacturing helped you solve problems and develop innovative solutions. Discuss how your experience in manufacturing makes you a better and more well-rounded engineer. Next slide. So final advice and Q&A. Don't overlook the value of manufacturing jobs. These roles can jumpstart your engineering career, especially when you could do these, straight out of high school. You do not have to wait until you start getting learning a little bit of engineering, or at least until you feel quote unquote qualified to get into that engineering intern or whatnot role. These manufacturing jobs are usually, for the most part, you could go in straight out of high school, entry level, and you'll start learning, and you could, even to your benefit, you might even be able to move up in that same company relatively quick, especially when you're going to school and you let your employer know they do value you wanting to grow with them. All right, so next one, start gaining hands-on experience today. So I already kind of covered that. You really don't have to wait till, your last year of school, or second to last year, or even after you graduate. You can start doing this straight out of high school, like I mentioned before, and you're ready for success. So be proactive in finding these jobs opportunities, and don't be afraid to explore a non-traditional engineering career path. Thank you very much, and have a great day.